So today's talk is with Vanessa Faure, and it's about art under DACA. So I would like to extend a warm welcome to Vanessa Faure. Let me start her video. Okay, and then she is a Brooklyn-based Dominican-born multimedia artist, songwriter, producer, and the daughter of Dominican painter and sculptor Vicente Fabre. She began her career in music by songwriting and collaborating with artists such as Bless the Nation, Chuck English of the Cool Kids, Mark Faflin, The Blended Babies, and Damon Dash at the Brooklyn Bowl for a DD 172 concert in partnership with Adidas. Vanessa was featured on projects with artists such as Twista and longtime friend Brooklyn-based producer Harry Fraud. Alongside her music, Vanessa integrated her illustrations into projects, including her own album artwork. In 2017, she submerged herself solely into her digital illustrations while taking a break from music. In her illustrations, she celebrates her experiences as a Latina living in New York City. From her love to bodega cats, to her reinterpretation of the Mona Lisa as a Dominican girl from New York City. Yeah, I love it. It's on fire. It's amazing. Her illustrations capture and elevate her everyday surroundings with vibrant colors. Vanessa has worked with companies like Me Too, Twitter, Starbucks, Whole Foods, and was featured in Fears by Me Too, BuzzFeed, Latina Magazine Online, Complex, and Telemundo. And I just wanted to show like the amazing stuff that she does. I don't know if you can see it over here, but like she has these amazing notebooks. I mean, conflé. I mean, how cute is that? Conflé. I mean, forget about cornflakes. It's all about the conflé, okay? And then, hello. Amazing, amazing. So you also get, the keychains, the conflict keychains. You can find pins over there. And of course, prints, artwork, So that's just a little bit of what she does. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm addicted to her work. I can't get enough, especially because I have my eyes on pantuflas right there on her shop. I need to buy them. But, okay, enough of that. Now, I look like an influencer, Natasha. What are you saying? Pantuflas. Maybe I should create a YouTube, but enough of that. Now let me introduce this amazing illustrator that I am addicted for her work. So Vanessa, please,
Hi guys.
it's all yours. Take over. And oh, I did forget one thing. Please go to her shop, vanessafabreart.com. Follow her on Instagram at Vanessa Fabre, and out of the kindness of your heart to support our speakers, go to the Cash App $ Vanessa Fabre. But okay, Vanessa,
Thank you so much, Dio. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for joining. Thank you for the intro. And I it's mentioned here. I really want to talk about being under DACA and owning a business, which has been a very long journey for me. And I want to give you a little background as to how I became someone under DACA. I came to the United States when I was 8 years old with a student visa. My whole family, we all came through New York City. My siblings and I were under visas, and they were good for about 7 years. And by the 7th year, my parents didn't speak the language. They missed the deadline, and that's how we kind of became undocumented in the United States. And from I was in my teens. I was already in high school when that happened. I was already doing art because I come from a household where my father is a sculptor and also a painter. So that was kind of my relief during that time, and that was kind of my the only way that I found myself to be able to express myself during that time, because when you're undocumented during those times, you can't really talk to anyone about what's happening or about your situation, because back then it was very unheard of to say, hey, I'm undocumented, and I can't go to college, and this is why I can't go to college, and this is why I don't, I can't have a driver's license. I'm 38 now, so this was back in high school. So the art became my kind of like therapy. And I was always into music and I was always into art, but art was so easy for me that I was just like, I put that on kind of like on a back burner, because I wanted to try something out different with music that gave me more of a challenge. But when I was in high school, I did get I was supposed to get a scholarship to the New World School of Design in Miami. My grades were really bad because of all the stuff that was happening to me personally. And I never got that scholarship. And I also, because I knew I was undocumented, I was like, if I accept this, there's no way that I'll be able to continue this the schooling, because there was no way for me to not be undocumented at that time. So art became my outlet pretty much, and music. And I was also designing my album artwork when I started to take music very serious. And I just spent the majority of my 20s creating music, traveling from like New York, Chicago. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was getting my feet wet in the music industry. And it is a very hard industry, especially for women, especially back when I was doing it. And slowly kind of started to kind of like wear down on me. And also being undocumented started to really wear down on me. And I think a lot of people don't talk about that thing that happens when you're undocumented, that you start to create these blocks, like, I want to do this, but this is my situation, like, I want to do that, but I can't fully do that because this is my situation. So I started to kind of create those mental walls, right? And when I decided to take a break from doing music, I felt completely lost. I was like, okay, so I don't identify anymore as a musician. And I was doing like random jobs. I was, doing like under the table jobs and things like that. And I was just kind of unhappy at that point, because I am, doing stuff with great people and with music, but kind of not getting anywhere. And that's around the time when the DACA came around. It was around 2013. And I was on the cusp of not being able to apply for it. I was 31 when I applied, and I applied for this not knowing if anything was going to happen for me. And the day that it happened, I cried, and I cried because it had been about 18 years of not being able to do much for myself. Not going to school, which I really wanted to. And so as soon as I got my DACA papers, my first job was like, I need a 9 to 5, now that I can do this, now that I can pick where I want to work. And I started to work for Apple. So I started to work for Apple. I actually, while I was working for them, I taught a lot of art classes for Apple with kids and gave a lot of creative camps there. And slowly, as I started to work for Apple, I realized that I couldn't work for anybody anymore. I had spent so much time, because of my situation with my paperwork, with my, being undocumented. I had spent so much time doing things I didn't want to do, and working for other people, and, making them successful, and just kind of neglecting that creative part of myself. I started to draw more. I was like, wait a minute, I really enjoy drawing, and I'm really good at it. I haven't done it in years and decades. It was about a decade that I had stopped completely like drawing. And slowly I started to do watercolors, which was it's actually my main medium, right? But eventually converted to digital because it was just a little bit more user friendly for me. And slowly that started to happen. I was like, wait a minute, I'm really good at this. And then I started getting good feedback on it. And this right here, what you guys are seeing, I started to make handmade pins while I was working for Apple, right? And these pins, I actually made enamel pins first. And I was like, I can't spend this much money making pins that I don't know whether or not they're going to sell. So then I started to make my handmade ones. The secret of them, they're still out there. I still don't tell people how I make them or how I made them because I don't make them anymore. But I started with pins. They cost $5. And I think it was the winter of 2017. I don't know what happened. Everything it exploded. Everybody wanted the pins. I was making thousands of dollars making like custom pins for people, and I was like, wait a minute, like what's happening? And then it kind of like snowballed, right? And I quit one day. I was at work. I was working from home. I was doing tech support for Apple at that point. And my manager, who was a creative too, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I can't. I was coming out of work like shaking because I was so stressed. And I was like, you know what? If I've already done this, I've already gone through hell and back for other people. This time, I am going to work really hard, even if I have to do grits for the first year, and start my own business. And I saw the how it picked up in December. I was like, okay, so I can do this. This could happen. It's happening. Can I maintain it, right? And I did. So I started making pins, and I started making custom pins, which were the pins that really kind of took off first, right? Then I started, and I tell you guys, look, I did this in the smallest space ever. I was making stickers by hand. Okay, I was making, when I think about those things, I get really emotional because it started from like nothing. I was making stickers by hand, laminating them by like literally putting this one by one, everything, all those, when I made these pins were cut by hand, one by one, glossed by hand, one by one, the pin backs one by one. Like it was a labor of love, you know? And I was like, I'm going to do this. And, I'm not gonna stop until like I get the results that I want, because I can do this. I have the fortitude to do this because I've already gone through so much, and what better way to give back to myself than to really do what I wanted, what I've always wanted to do, which was create for a living. And the first 2 years were great. They were trying though, right? Because you're building a business, and then you lose a lot of money, right? You lose a lot of sleep. You're working probably more than I would have than you work if you were to work at a 9 to 5, right? But you love what you do. And then I just kept thinking like, wow, like I waited so long to have like a work permit and I don't even use it because I work for myself at this point, right? So it gave me a lot of perspective to all those years that I spent being fearing getting deported or being undocumented. Gave me like, it really made me resourceful, because I feel that this is why I'm also able to do the things that I'm doing right now, because you begin to find loopholes everywhere. You begin to like find alternate ways of doing things, right? And so the first 2 years were trying, and I learned a lot, and I'm on my third year now, and this is when I'm finally starting to see like the exact vision of what I wanted the business to be, right? I've gotten to work with a lot of amazing people, like people from first of all, you guys, also like Twitter, and working very closely with Twitter. I've designed some stuff for the internal the internal employees, and working with Starbucks and doing pins for their store, for the regional stores here in New York City. My work has been featured all over the city in this billboards that are digital. So I'm finally seeing the fruits of my labor, but I feel like if I would have gone through all the things that I went through, right? Uh, and this is why I like to give these talks also, because, you know, there's a lot of people that are still undocumented, and it is a fear that there's little opportunities for people that are undocumented to live out their dreams. If I would have known what I know now, that it's just like a mental thing, to be honest. Like there's a will, there's a way. You can do whatever you want. Now there are, certain things that you got to take into account. Like maybe if you want to, when you don't have a work permit, it's a little bit difficult. Trust me, I know. But I'm saying that when you have that will and that willpower to do things, you can do whatever you want, because I'm living proof of it right now. I don't even use that, and I prayed. I used to cry for decades and decades. Like I wish I had a work permit. I wish I had a work permit. And I like to give talks like this to also talk to. I actually go to a lot of schools here in Brooklyn, and I partner with a lot of organizations that kind of cater to immigrant children and things like that, just to give them some sort of like hope that, it's not a life sentence. I'm not a resident. I'm still like under DACA. DACA, there's some little parts of DACA that is like I can't travel. Like if they decide that they're going to dismantle it, then then I don't know where I stand. But I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't let those things like stop me from doing the things that I really want to do, and I'm doing it now. So yes, that's where I'm at. The company's still growing. I still get to work with a lot of really amazing companies and local small businesses as well, which is my favorite. Working with a couple of projects here that cater to low income families and immigrant children and things like that. So that's where I kind of also want to route my why to, right? Because being an artist is like you create and you have fun, but you have to have like a why. You want to have like a reason why you're doing this, like in the long run. And my reason is to be a voice for people like myself. I wish I had someone like myself back in the day to tell me, like you can do this, and it's okay, and you'll have people that will support you and will back you up. You just gotta take that step and take that leap of faith. So yeah, guys. I don't know if you guys have any questions. Let me see.
We can actually do the Q&A after this.
Okay.
I'll go through the slides. You can tell
Yes,
me little stories
absolutely.
about them, please.
So right here, so these are my the coding. So my work right now is mainly focused on my experience as a Latina living in New York City, right? Going outside, getting a cup of coffee, talking to my neighbor. Those were the things that really inspired me to create the things that I'm doing now, because New York City is like alive. Like everywhere you go, there's something that catches your eye, something that's inspiring. So that was my main focus. My main focus is to like celebrate my life pretty much, and the things that surround me. And this is my Christmas, my Christmas gift wraps. We have the coffee cup, which is like a staple in New York City, the blue one. I'm not sure if you guys have this outside of New York City, but this is like the coffee cup for here. I'm sure you guys do, but we're obsessed with this coffee cup. And then a Biggie Christmas. I'll tell you guys, I have one from Walter Mercado. It's not New York related, but it's Latino related. It's gonna be a gift wrap for the holidays. It's really cute. And then we have the Virgen de Cardi B sweatshirt. Uh, and for that one, I just wanted to kind of celebrate her because she's so candid, and people like, are always kind of on her for being herself. But But yeah, and this is what I was saying before. This um, images were in about 1,700 billboards all over New York City. And this is the first time this company is called Lincoln YC, and they featured a person of color, I believe. So I wanted to celebrate like the bodega snacks, which are like, you know, you have to have uh, your chips and stuff like that. So I created a constellation chart of like all the main bodega snacks, which are the chips and the Swedish fish and the coffee cup and the honey bun. And these were the one on the left was part of my handmade pins. Year is a call that we do here in New York City. That's like a hello, but it's like for the people. So I did a cup that says "You're the element of a greeting," which is what how we greet each other here in New York City, and then the benefit card, which you know is part of a lot of people's everyday life. This is where they how they buy their stuff, the bodegas. Um, this was my collaboration with Twitter. This was at the end of 2019, and they had a lot of New York creators come into Twitter. So they would kind of pick our brains as to the new where Twitter was headed when it came to creators, and yeah, so we talked about what would be the next pretty much step for Twitter when it came to kind of supporting creators. And then after that event, a lot of things. I did a lot of side projects with them. This is my Biggie Bodega shirt, which is kind of wearing now, but it's in black. And we have Basquiat and Frida. This was a project I did with a local company that makes handmade cards, and they always celebrate women of color. So this was part of some cards that we did for them. Of course, Selena. I mean, hello. You can't go wrong with Selena. We have some Selena pins. These were the handmade ones that I made. And then this was my rendition. The one on the left is that notebook. Is a the birth of Venus. My rendition of Birth of Venus as a woman of color as well. I have that as print, and I have notebooks and stickers and all that good stuff. And Selena, we gotta honor the queen, Selena. I made pins of her bustier that everyone celebrates. And I grew up on hip hop, and when I did music, I was in that part of the industry, so I always celebrate that because I grew up on that, and I was part of also in a way of the hip hop culture, if we want to say that way. But so yeah, I always celebrate that. That's always in part. That's always going to be part of my like artistry. There's always going to be some sort of music in there, some sort of element of like hip hop in there because it's part of my history as well. So the one on the left is Ramona Lisa. This is my rendition of the Mona Lisa, and she is a girl from the Heights. And then we have Wakata, which is these were pins, handmade pins. We're part of a print, and I made these two things into handmade pins, La Chancleta, and hold on, I can't see the other thing. La Chancleta and the Fuacata comic book noise. And then I love my bodega because we love bodegas. And this on the left, I did this print with my friend Elizabeth Hernandez. She's an amazing poet. And we wanted to celebrate our abuelas, chismoseando with the with the Goya cans as like, telephones. And we did that together with a poem. We saw that together with a poem. And then the one on the right, the print on the right is just, what we do. I did this for COVID. It was just like kind of like a print to tell people to just relax and take it easy and decompress. The Circles Pastry Shop is a very well-known landmark here in Bushwick in Brooklyn. So I love drawing like little landmarks of New York City because they're epic, they look epic, they're pretty. And then the conflé, obviously, as a Dominican, we call every cereal conflé. It doesn't matter what flavor it is a conflé. And I did a series that include the print on the left, which was a lot of my childhood cartoon characters visiting New York City, and this was one of them. This was the Rugrats in a Brooklyn brownstone. And Cardi B, you know, my girl, I had to celebrate her. And then I have my own greeting cards. um, so they're New York themed greeting cards. So you complete me with a bodega and bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, which is our sandwich of choice for breakfast. We have Yo Dead Ass Happy Birthday, because that's our greeting too. And then the Get Well Soon card is Yo, you good, fam? And then You Make Me Feel Warm Inside is it was a Valentine's Day card. The middle is what the middle pins. This was actually in a vending machine in the New Jersey airport right before COVID. It's still there, but because COVID happened, everything that whole project came to a screeching halt. But it is in a vending machine in an airport, and then the Bodega Gang is just like, you know, the cats in New York City. They are the managers of the bodega, so there's no real managers, just the cats. And then we have here the mailbox, the graffiti mailbox, which we have all over New York City. And then on the right, this I made this print for a documentary maker here in New York City called New York Nico. And he just kind of, you know, he likes to also celebrate all the characters of New York City. That's what his Instagram page is about. That it's about celebrating all the, you know, interesting people in New York. So I did that for him. These are everyone's favorites. They're my tumblers. We have the cafecito ones. They're the traveling tumblers, and then the Ur. And they're really like great. I mean, they keep everything cool for hours and hours and hours. These are my sticker sheets. I did a Bodega Cat sticker sheet because, you know, we are obsessed in New York City with Bodega Cats. I don't know if that's like everywhere else, but we are obsessed with them. And then the one on the right was part of the items that were in the New Jersey airport, along with that 3-pack of pins. This sticker sheet, I created this sticker sheet just for that project. Then it just became a regular sticker sheet for my shop. And this is the print on the left is my Ramona Lisa. And she has a honey bun and a 25-cent juice, which is also a very common treat of bodegas here in New York City. And then we have the Cookie Monster eating cookies, or tending to a bodega instead of taking ABT cards, he takes cookies. Let's see, and these are my phone cases of my regular prints. Let me see. We have the ice machine. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is what I was telling you. It's okay, you can go forward. There's nothing too crazy about them. So this is what I was telling you guys about, that I created a series of like cartoons that were part of my childhood coming to New York City. So the Animaniacs, I don't know if you guys remember Animaniacs, I made them into subway performers because they are a big part of our culture. And they give me the same energy of like Animaniacs because they're wild. They'll dance on those poles and sit on your lap and almost kick in your face, but they are, you know, very amazing performers. And then we have the Morena, just a print celebrating women of color. And then we have the Ren and Stimpy go to Coney Island. So that's another one of my favorite childhood cartoons, but they're visiting New York City and they're going to Coney Island. I feel like they will fit there. Then we have the old school sticker sheet. We have the Bodega Snack sticker sheets and the Chula sticker sheets, you know, sticker packs. So 2 sheets per pack. And then we have, I'm reading the chat, you guys are funny. Then we have another part of the series. We have Lisa about playing her sax by Carnegie Hall. And then we have Powerpuff Girls as women of color outside of bodega, because kids in New York City, after they get out of school, they go to a bodega and get snacks. So I wanted to showcase that as kids that just got out of school. And then we have my toads. I have the Sana Sana Culito de Rana. Okay, for you guys, is it Culito de Rana or there's another way of saying it? is it culito de rana or is it colita de rana? Then my Brooklyn tattoo. This is a Coney Island theme. Brooklyn tattoo themed tote bag with hand tattoos of Coney Island mermaid and the Coney Island guy, pretty much. I say culito de rana. I don't know, but I grew up like saying culito de rana, but then I saw that it was colita de rana, but ranas don't have colitas; they have culitos. So this is the the left one is the actual print of Sana Sana culito de rana, and it's giving praise to to Vicks Vapor Rub because you can cure COVID with Vapor Rub. And then this it was all a dream. This is an illustration of some lyrics from Biggie, which I love Biggie. So it was all a dream. We used to be Word magazine, blah blah. These are my patches, my chancla patches, and my year cup patches as well. And they're not iron on. And these are some commissions. So the one on the left is for a album, a single release, and then the one on the right was a commission for a podcast. So these are some of my clients. These are my favorite commissions that I've done to date. And then we have another phone case of my praying hands, and I wanted to make the praying hands with like a lot of like adornos. I call this the adorno print because like I grew up loving like gold jewelry and just being adorned with stuff, and I think that's a big part, at least of my culture, and I want to celebrate that just by drawing somebody praying with all their adornments. You know what I mean? Then I have the 90s sticker sheet because this is one of my favorite things in the 90s as well. MTV, Alf, hello, all the pumps sneakers and the Cabbage Patch, amazing. And then I have the Bodega keychain, which is part of what Dio showed earlier. It was like a Confles keychain that was kind of, those two came at the same time. And then these are we have the birth of Venus as a woman of color on the left. The middle one is a commission of my friend who actually does beautiful stitch work. His jacket in this picture is actually stitches. It was a photograph that he showed me, but he's right now we have a collaboration where he stitched some of my artwork onto totes. And then the one on the right is a Pisces print. So I wanted to celebrate that in astrology. And then I have, these are also kind of my favorite. I made recipe prints of Dominican recipes. So we have habichuela con dulce, we have tostones, and then I have the tres golpes. So it's for us Dominicans, it's like, duh. But a lot of people, I thought of, because I seen this in like Etsy, but with like things that were not of my culture. So I was like, you know what? We need to celebrate these recipes because they're a huge part of our culture. And I wanted to, celebrate things that were part of my growing up, still part of my life, and I wanted to make it cute and pretty so you can hang it on your kitchen. So I may make more series of these, but these were just celebrating the main kind of big staple Dominican recipes that people like really know about. This one on the left, these two are commissions. This is for a friend of mine who is a immigration lawyer. So she asked me to do her logo or her like main image to be a bodega legal, a bodega background with her, in the front. And then the one on the right, it is, somebody said, tengo hambre. It is another commission for my friend. This is part of his album release. He made this into a shirt and I loved doing it. And the left is my Adornos hand prayer stickers. I made some bookmarks in the middle with some of my images. And then on the right, I made a series of stickers celebrating the botanical gardens in New York City of each borough. So the Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Queens. The botanical gardens in New York City are amazing, beautiful. So I was like, let me make this into a series, and wherever borough you're from, you could go buy one and celebrate. And these are my Adorno, my official Adorno print on the left. Then we have a Leo print for the astrology. I had a series. I still haven't finished the series though. And then the one on the right is Cancer. And I like to celebrate women of color. I like to make them all like, they're toasty. Then we have this is another commission. I'm telling you, people here in New York City are obsessed with bodegas. It is a part of our culture to the max. So this was my friend, and then the right is Taurus, my Taurus print. This is my baby. I just made these. These are my food bowls, and they are. I had a pin that said Mentiras, which was a pin with a blue tin, like a cookie jar one, with like sewing stuff coming out of it. And this I made years later. I made this into a food bowl, where it says Mentira. It has a lid on it, has a grip on the bottom too, so it doesn't slide everywhere. But it's made of enamel, and it's cute. I have it in 3 sizes, and when you flip it around, it just has like the cookie stuff and the sewing kit stuff on it as well. But I mean, that's part of everybody's childhood. I feel the ultimate betrayal for sure. And this was my latest collaboration with Lincoln YC, and we were, talking about, wearing a mask and coming out of COVID, because this was supposed to be pre-COVID. And once COVID, things cleared up here in New York City, which was a long time, they asked me to kind of redraw the images with masks on, so we can just be a daily reminder that we have to wear them here in New York City. But yeah, this was my latest collaboration. And then these are my new pins. I don't make handmade pins anymore. So these are my enamel pins, and we have the ice machine, graffiti ice machine, my Adornos pin, my graffiti truck pin, and then the middle one is an old school New York City transit token, and I made it into a rainbow pin. And the one on the right is the graffiti truck pin. Ta-da! Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Fanisha.
Oh my God.
I love how you just take from our Latinx heritage.
Yeah.
That you bring everything that we have experienced as kids. The mentiras one really hit me hard, because I was like, it's so true. It's so true. They
can't trust them
like
anymore.
Yeah, it's like the cookies are gone. Like you open them, you're hoping to have cookies, and suddenly you see a swing kit.
And it happens too with like the butter thing, the butter tub, and like the
Yes.
the habichuela tubs too. Like you don't know what's in there.
But yeah, you don't know. I mean, it could be, I don't know, porridge from earlier in the day. Right. It could be some kind of other. Yeah, everything is reusable. Latinx families are very environmentally friendly.
We are. Oh,
yes. Okay, so let's do some Q&A time. Let's see.
And don't be shy, guys. I'm very open.
Yes. So, let me stop sharing actually, because, and I'll get back to it soon. Mm-hmm. I just need to look at the Q&A right now. So, what kind of music artists are influencing your art right now?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll be honest. So right now I'm looking at artists like, let's say, J Balvin, right? I like people that start from nothing. I mean, I don't knock down people that have come from like, because that's their path, right? But I look at someone like J Balvin that came from nothing, worked his butt off to get to where he's at, and still humble, still works very hard. Because sometimes people once they reach a certain height, they just, you could tell they lose their fire, because it's easy to do that, right? I listened a lot to J Balvin. I listened to, I've been listening to Bad Bunny, a lot of Latino artists. But who's on rotation right now? who is on rotation? Beyonce. The water song from the Lion King. That one is like on repeat. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but it's just so good. I just like people that are positive, you know, and that are empowered, and they're trying to empower people with their music, you know.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Okay, let's go to the next question. How do current trends influence your work?
I'm always listen. I am always on social media. I wish I wasn't. I think the cramp that I have on my shoulder, because I have an injury on my shoulder, is because I'm on my phone all the time. They all influence me. I have to. I like being on top of new trends, right? Because that's input for me. So it for me to even going outside, it's like I get inspired by things. So all I don't take all of them in, right? But I watch what people are doing. As an artist, I feel like you have to stay on top of what's new, not to imitate it or not to duplicate it, but just so you know where you stand. And maybe you want to learn something new, maybe you want to keep things a little more fresh. I don't take, I don't do trends, but I watch because I like to kind of tweak trends for myself. But I'm always on top of everything that's happening. I'm always on social media. TikTok is a new thing that I'm watching people create a lot, and see what they're up to and how they're creating, not to copy, but to just see like what's the new thing out there, you know?
Yeah. By the way, in the chat, they're asking for you
Uh-huh.
to share your Spotify.
Just type in Fanesha Fabre. Just type in my name.
I love
It'll
that.
pop up.
That's easy. Okay, so next question. Ooh, you have to develop a brand for a new product. How will you get started?
um, so this is my theory, right? Wait, hold on. So let me get the question right. How do I get something kind of like going or something people excited about
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, like so for example, actually let's modify that.
Uh-huh.
So let's say, how do you create a brand for maybe one of your singer-songwriter friends and you're doing an illustration for them, you know?
So if they're close to me, I already know them, right? So I study them, right? So if there's very little that they have to tell me. I kind of know what it is, right? When it's someone new, when it's a new client that they want something like a logo or something like that, then I ask for them to tell me everything they like, that they would like in a logo, right? As wild as it is, right? Whatever idea they have, references, colors, and things like that. And I try to have a conversation with them prior to actually working with them, just to get a feel for them. But I tell them to go as wild as they can, because we can always kind of bring it back and tone it down. But I want to see how big their ideas are, right? And where what their dream goal would be. And then if I can do it, I'll do it. But if not, then we can tweak that and we could bring it down. But if we start from something small where it's just like I just have the creative freedom, and I don't bring them in, then it doesn't work that way. So I always ask for, give me the wildest idea that you have, and then we can tweak that.
I love that. You let them have their dreams, their desires, and then you just collaborate with them to create
So
a piece. Love
if we
it.
can't make that, but
Uh,
we'll make something close to that, you know?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is from Natasha. Can you talk about the process of creating the sticker sheets that have such a different outline and requires more customization? I'm curious how the process evolved from the manually cut steps to multiple reproductions.
Okay, so so the manual cut, it was just like I was like, if things keep evolving in my company, like, can I keep up with this now? So that's how I see things. If I can do this now, but can I do it later, right? Can I keep up with this later if it blows up? That's how I look at everything that I make. Can I keep up with it, right? So no, absolutely, I couldn't keep up with it. So I brought. It's easy. I bought a Cameo machine. It's like a Cricut. It's like a different company, but it does the same thing. So I make them in house, And it's easy. You just put them in the machine, you tweak the settings, you give them one run where they outline the, you know, where the stickers are. Obviously you print them, they go through this machine, and then you do a second run where it just really cuts the outside of it. But that's it. You just have to design the sticker sheets. I mean, design the stickers, design the sticker sheet, pass them through the Cameo software, right? You have to bring it into the software. It prints out with some registration marks in each corner, meaning dots in each corner. That's what the machine reads. It reads those dots, so it knows where to cut, and that's it. The machine does the work for me pretty much. It takes a while to get to know what settings are right and how to work the machine, but that's how I make my in-house sticker sheets.
Wait, and so I guess you use a printer before that. So what printer do you use?
I used to have, believe it or not, I used to have an HP OfficeJet printer, which was my favorite. And I did a lot of my print work there, and it was like a regular printer. But my friend got me, because I wanted to make poster size prints, which I make now, which 13 by 19. Right now I use the Epson 150000, which is a oh my god, wide format printer. So I do it there, but you could do it. You can do stickers in a regular printer as long as you know what settings to put the sticker sheets in, right? Because there's specific settings, because there's gloss in the sticker sheets. So you have to tweak that before you send them off to print, and you could have high quality stickers.
That is so cool. Okay, I actually have a Cameo, but I haven't tried doing the stickers thing.
You can. We'll talk.
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely. I'll use the registration marks. I'll have awesome stickers. Okay, so will there be a Virgo print sticker soon?
A what? I'm sorry. A
Virgo print sticker.
I'm trying. I guess I have a list of all the ones that I have to finish, but all these other things get in the way of that. A lot of different projects, but I swear by the end of the year I'll have the whole astrology stuff finished. I promise.
Woo, love that. And Reina is saying we should have a sticker workshop. Actually, that would be
Listen,
really
I will do a sticker workshop for sure.
Woo!
I love it. When COVID happened, I was giving free classes on Instagram every single day on drawing.
Oh,
and because you know the parents were like stuck with their kids and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, I can help out right now. I was giving them free coloring book pages and stuff like that, and I started to do drawing classes, and a lot of people showed up. But I can give some sticker making classes if you guys like, and you know some of my tips and tricks with the Cameo and stuff. It'll be fun.
Wow, yeah, the people have spoken. They're like, yes, awesome, yes.
We'll set that up. It's fun. I love stuff like that.
I'm excited. Okay, what are your long-term goals? Where do you see yourself and business in 10 years?
Okay, so this is the thing. I do have like long-term goals, which is, you know, have a brick and mortar and have like a shop, and have actually more specifically a print shop, because I love crafting and you know, doing my own stuff and like doing stuff in-house. I really do not like depending on third-party stuff to like do my stuff. This is why I taught myself when I was doing music, I taught myself how to produce. I taught myself how to do all this stuff. I personally like things done when I want them to be done, and I know how I like things done. So eventually, yes, have a print shop of my own, so I could do, you know, have people have their stuff done in-house from like my house, like my shop. But at the same time, what I have learned going from music to art, I was not expecting to have run a business with my art, because that was the last thing on my mind, right? I have learned to kind of leave space in my life to welcome any surprises. So I don't like making too many long-term goals, because you kind of get zeroed in there. Yes, I do have like a goal for the company. I know where I want it to be, but I also don't want to pigeonhole myself into one idea when the universe may have something completely different from me and something bigger than what I think I want for myself, right? So yes,
Yes.
print shop, but whatever the universe has for me that's bigger and better, I'm also open to that.
Okay. Okay. So again from Natasha,
Hmm.
how long does an illustration take you? For example, for the series on locations in New York neighborhoods.
It all depends. Listen, I am obsessive. So if I start an illustration, I will work probably 18 hours nonstop straight, like until I get it done. When I'm excited about something, I will not eat. I will forget to go to the bathroom. Like I will forget to drink. That's how I work. I've always been that way, even with music. But let's say with a client, it all depends because I could have a vision of what somebody wants, and know that I can finish it within a couple of days. But then you have input, like editing, and the client may want to change this and that and that. So it could take 2 weeks. When you bring in a client, and their changes and their edits, sometimes they don't get back to you right away. So if I'm working by myself, I could create an illustration if I'm really into it, like 2 days. But meaning 2 days like nonstop, like from the moment I wake
Oh,
up to. But it's like you go in a trance. It's like I go in a trance. Like I don't really remember like where I'm at. So
I
so
get
yeah,
that. I hope that you still get to it because yeah, I know that once you're in a trance, it's very, you forget about everything. You even
I'm
forget about
learning.
food.
I have
Yeah.
like
It's,
a shoulder thing right now because I sometimes like I go overboard. So it's like I'm trying to learn how to like it's okay to take a break and like finish it tomorrow or something, you know?
but there's something addictive once you
It
go into a
is.
trance, you
It
know?
is. It is.
What's your best advice for other artists under DACA?
Other artists on the DACA, we are in a time right now where everything's accessible. Work. Just just put your work out there. You know, whether you think it's the best or what. Like when I first started my drawing and stuff, I know I look back at it now and I cringe. It's like, oh, that wasn't my best, but at that time I thought it was, right? And
Mhm.
people, you find your crowd of people, right? You find people that enjoy and get you, and they see you, right? And just work, because the thing that I've learned is like you don't. Like my father always used to tell me this: do the work, and the work will do the work for you. Like you know
Yes,
what I mean? Like you don't need to worry about
yes.
stuff like that as long as you're consistent with your work. And I never understood that until I started doing this. I'm like, I'm just gonna go work blindly, even if I don't see results right away. I saw the results. They're not when I expected them to be, right? They weren't right
Hmm.
away. But right now we have social media. We have so many things accessible to us that you can make a career out of it. You just have to be consistent, and you have to work really hard and perfect your craft, try to draw. I tell people, listen, I know, especially people that have 9 to 5s and they still want to do be creative stuff. I get it. Draw once an hour or two a week, but do not do that. Like give it
Hmm.
some space to be in your life, right? And then the more you do that, the more you give that like sacred space to create, you start to see changes, and then you get more excited, and you keep doing it, but you have to do the work.
Yeah,
And you
love
have
it.
you
Love
have
it.
accessibility. There's people that want to see your work too. you know
That's very true.
don't be afraid.
Okay, we should, yes, exactly. Don't be afraid. Okay, we should start wrapping up.
Yes.
We have space for two more questions. There's one from Anthony. I love your spin on famous works. Is there any out there that you often think about doing? What haven't you, but haven't done it yet?
What? I'm sorry, can you repeat what was it?
He said, I love your spin on famous works. Is there any
Oh,
out there that you often think about doing but haven't done yet?
there's a lot of them. Because my dad grew up, like he grew up showing me like a lot of this old artists and stuff like that. Not at the top of my head. I did one with the fingers touching, but it was like a metro card that people were handing to each other. So
That's
I
awesome.
wanna I wanna revisit that idea of redoing old, like reimagining older pieces. It just takes a lot of time to kind of like think about how to do it. Like how to reimagine it.
Yeah. Okay. Your art is very multidimensional. Multidimensional. What do you think art and design programs need to incorporate to allow for the type of creative production that you do?
No, I'll be honest, because I work off of Procreate only. I don't use Adobe or anything like that. I work off of an iPad. Um, to be honest, I don't know, because there are artists like me that do multiple, do crafts and prints and things like that. It would have to be some sort of like 360 thing, where it's like you take it from here, you take it from let's say an iPad, and then you can maybe run it through a 3D
Wait,
printer or something, you know?
there's a
Uh,
clarification here. She meant art and design school program. So education wise, like,
oh,
yeah. What would you like to
guys,
see?
I never went
Yeah.
to college, or I never went to school for this, so I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, to be honest. I felt that, I think this is one of the reasons why, even when I was in high school, I felt, as an artist, I felt so isolated, because I
Mm.
like to explore different aspects of being a creative, right? But it was either you were a photographer, you were, a visual artist, or you were a musician, blah, blah, blah. And there was never anything that kind of meshed all these things together. So I always felt like I had to pick, and this is why I kind of rejected drawing for so long when I was in music, because I was like, well, I can't integrate this too, like school would have taught me that, you know what I mean? So I
Mm.
feel like, to give someone more space to not kind of condemn, because I feel like a lot of people is like, well, if you do this, and you can really do this too well, and I feel like that's a lie. I think you can perfect everything that you want to do. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just not even a program, but it's just like being okay with someone wanting to explore other aspects of their
Mm.
creativity, and not being judged, or say, or like being told to just pick one thing. You know,
So more freedoms
more
inside
freedom.
that design programs. Okay. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, I'm also a teacher, so I mean I agree with that.
See, I wouldn't know, because I never got to experience that out of high school. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
know what that looked like for someone that actually, like, say, went to the science school, like how much freedom there was to explore outside of high school. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Because I never experienced that. I never got to go to college. You
Mm.
know, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
know
I
how.
agree. I think as teachers we are supposed to guide students, but not really tell them what to do. It's
Right,
up
right,
to
right,
them how they can express themselves. We can teach the rules,
right.
but I think that you are supposed to learn the rules so you can break
So you
them
can
with
break
them.
them.
Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
there is this artist, James Victoria, and he completely breaks the rules on typography.
Yeah.
um, so I completely understand that it's like he's all about breaking the rules because it's fun for him, and
Right.
that's that thing about creativity. It should be fun. We should let people explore. It's the art, right, that lives within us. Great. Okay, so we should wrap up because it's already we're 10
Sorry,
minutes
guys.
over.
I'm busy.
But I just wanted to say thank you to
Thank
you.
you, guys.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
So now we should, again, Fanesha, muchísimas gracias por estar
Thank
acá.
you.
Thank you for showing us your art, for sharing your ideas, your thoughts, and your experiences, especially for being so open about your experiences of being an artist here and living under DACA. So thank
Thank
you
you,
so
guys.
much.
Also, follow me on Instagram. I always give classes there. I sometimes go live on my Instagram, and I'll teach you how to draw or something. And then let's see what we can cook up with you guys to do, like some a print workshop or something. I mean, a sticker workshop.
That would be that would be
Yes.
amazing. Great.
Thank you,
Okay,
guys.
so gracias, gracias. Okay, so let's move along. We're almost over. We're almost done with the
Yes.
talk for today. So okay. So it's Again, please go visit Fanesha's shop, follow her on Instagram, and give out of the kindness of your heart, contribute for to her artistic endeavors by going to her Cash App, do $Fanesha Favre. Please definitely go to her shop. I mean, look, this is amazing. I love it. I'm just in love with all her work.